So in my last video, I announced to all of you guys that I was working on a little project and planning to get it out to you all this week. Thankfully, everything went smoothly. There were no issues, and I have the time today to get this video out. And again, I hope none of you are expecting anything huge, as this is just a small project that I wanted to get to you guys. It's useful to me and was fun to play around with for a little while, so I hope the same is true for most of you. Anyway, I'm just going to show you now. Here it is, an interactive JSON stats table. With 7 playable JSONs in the game and roughly 15 attributes that are important to players, it's a little difficult to keep track of the JSONs you're interested in, as well as compare their abilities to others. If you're just trying to compare one JSON up against 1 or 2 other JSONs, it's not too bad because you won't have much trouble memorizing their strengths and weaknesses. But to easily track their abilities and compare them against all JSONs to determine which one best suits your playstyle or what you're in the mood to play as, there just wasn't much a good way to do that. There's a link to this table at the very top of the description right below this video. This table turned out to be pretty useful for me, so I'm hoping the same is true for you guys. Although I was excited for Part 6 and Part 9 JSONs, I didn't realize how well they seemed to suit my playstyle until I played around with this table for a while, and they kept making themselves clear as JSONs with attributes that I liked and weaknesses that I didn't mind. So I'm really hoping that those of you who give this table a go actually come across a JSON or two that you weren't that excited for, but then realize his stats actually line up with how you'd like to play. Definitely worth mentioning though is that this table isn't the most responsive thing I've ever had on a website, and it definitely works well on bigger displays or just on desktop in general. If you're using it on a phone, I apologize, but you're going to have to do a lot of scrolling, and using your phone in landscape orientation is definitely the best bet. I've included a key below the table that shows you what the +1s and -1s mean, as well as the zeros, but I'm just going to go over it real quick. A +1 in a given slot means that it is a strength of that JSON. A -1 means that it is a weakness, and a 0 means that it's not a strength or a weakness. And finally, for starting knives and trap counts, I've just included the actual number of knives or traps that a JSON starts with. Though I hope the way the information is presented and the way the data table works is pretty intuitive and you guys don't have any trouble using it and taking information from it that you want to get. And while most of you viewing this video and checking out the page already know a lot about the game and the JSONs, I've also included my stat reveal video right below the table, as well as a description of what these attributes mean for a JSON, and further than that, I included the screenshots of the JSONs from their character selection screen, and also again wrote out their strengths and weaknesses to be as clear as I could. Please don't expect perfectly written out information and grammatically correct sentences or structured sentences or anything like that, and don't hesitate at all to point out any errors I have in my stat table or in the information I included. The last thing I want to do with this page is spread misinformation. One final thing to mention about the website is that this is actually the only page I've made so far. While I haven't had time to work on the website yet, I did want to get this table out as soon as I could, so bear with me while the rest of the site is more or less blank. I'm also already working on the counselor stat table, which works the same way but is in a way more useful because the numbers are actually way more variable than just a strength or a weakness. There's a value from 1 to 10. And that will be the very next thing available on the website before I actually work on any other content for it. But definitely be on the lookout for the counselor table. I will do a video when it's ready, which should be this Thursday or Friday. That is the 11th or 12th of May. But that's it for this video, guys. Really not much more to say. I really hope there are a good amount of you out there who do enjoy this table and find it somewhat useful, and are looking forward to the counselor table when that one is released. But as always, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video and subscribe for future Friday the 13th content, including daily uploads once the game is released. And absolutely don't hesitate to share the video or the link to the stat table page with anyone who might be interested in it. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching the video.